Hi guys, it's time for our final part of subject-verb agreement. This time we're going to go over common pitfalls because you already know the basic rule. A singular subject needs a singular verb, a plural subject needs a plural verb. So everything that I'm going to talk about today is just stuff that kind of gets in the way and makes it so it's hard to figure out what your actual subject is, or makes the verb sound like it should be plural when really it should be singular, or vice versa. It should be singular when it sounds like it should be plural. So here they are. Possible pitfall number 1. Sometimes you have the subject and then you have a few words that come in between the subject and the verb. And those words that come in the middle will make the subject sometimes appear to be plural. So things that begin with together with, along with. So it might say Mrs. Markey together with Miss Elias is going to proctor the SAT on Wednesday. I don't want to combine Mrs. Markey and Miss Elias. That together with is not part of the subject. The subject of the sentence is going to be Mrs. Markey. So the way that you know that it's unnecessary if it has one of those phrases in front of it is a lot of times it will be surrounded by commas. So if you look at the example sentence, the student, though she had lots of problems in other schools, finds her new class easy. That part that is red, that is in between the commas, is unnecessary. So I take it out and I pretend like it's not there. So anytime that you see a group of words that is surrounded by commas, it's unnecessary. So take it out and then ask yourself, who or what is the subject of the sentence? Base your verb choice off of the answer to that question. Now, the other type of phrase that gets in the way is a prepositional phrase. So this is an example of a prepositional phrase. The subject can never be part of a prepositional phrase. So if you see a phrase that begins with in, if, when, any of those words that indicate space or time relationships, you ignore them. So I do not let the prepositional phrase decide my verb choice. Okay, look at the example. The students in my class study or studies hard. Students is my subject. I'm going to ignore in my class. And the reason why I need to ignore it is because class is singular. And so a lot of times, because that word is right before the verb, it messes me up on which verb to choose. But students is actually my subject. The class isn't studying. The students are studying. So students is plural. It has an S. I need the plural verb that does not have an S. Remember, they're opposite to one another. So students study hard. Here's some more pitfalls. Sometimes the subject comes after the verb. So if I look at questions, a lot of times questions, the subject is after the verb. Why is he falling asleep? If I have a question, I can turn it into a statement, and that helps me identify the correct subject and verb. So instead of saying, why is he falling asleep, I say, he is falling asleep. They are falling asleep. The word there, if I see the word there at the beginning of a sentence, there is no excuse for such behavior. There is never going to be your subject. So you have to look at what is the sentence about. It's about excuses. So excuse is going to be my subject, not there. So if you ever see the word there at the beginning of a sentence, not your subject. Here's another example. There are no excuses for such behavior. You can see that I've made excuses plural, therefore I have to change my verb from is to are. Okay? Other possible pitfalls. Relative pronouns such as who, which, or that can either be singular or plural. So it depends on what word it's referring to. So look at these two sentences. The student who works hard will succeed. Student is my subject. Student works. Okay, the who is referring to student. The next one, students who work hard. It's the exact same sentence. I now need to change work to works to work, no S, because my subject has become students with an S. Okay, the who is referring to students. So if you see who, which, or that, you always look at the word that it's referring to, and that word is going to determine if it's singular or plural. Finally, my last tip. Most of you guys are doing this for the SAT. You want to make sure that you have a high score on the SAT. So when I'm looking at that test, the people who write the test are going to underline the portion that needs to change. If they have a verb underlined, find the subject and make sure they agree. Make sure that that's the first thing that you check. So if the word that's underlined is a verb that you have to change, find the subject, put it together with the verb, and just put those two words together, and your ear is going to tell you if it's correct. So first, always identify if you have a subject-verb agreement issue. If you don't have any problems, start looking for other things. If you do have problems, ask yourself which version sounds correct. If you locate that subject and the subject does have an S, then your verb should not. If your subject does not have an S, then your verb should. If you see a word like and, that is going to be combining verbs. If you see a word like or, you're going to be looking for the subject that is closest to the verb. Go back to that and. If you see a word like and, it's not combining the verbs, it's combining the subjects. So we'll fix that. So make sure that everything goes together. I know that these are a lot of rules to kind of follow and keep straight in your mind, especially with all the exceptions. But again, just locate that subject, put it together with the verb, and only concentrate on those two words. Your ear will tell you what's right, okay? What you need to do. I'm going to attach a practice to this video. That practice is your exit ticket for today's asynchronous lesson. So you need to make sure that you complete it and turn it in. It's going to count for points. It's also going to count towards your attendance for today, okay? Good luck, guys. Let me know if you have any issues. You can send me a message on Remind, but today I am proctoring the SAT, so I probably will not get back to you until after the SAT is over. Good luck. Most of you guys are sitting here taking it. See you on Thursday.